Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Today I wanted to talk to you about state benefits versus the federal government benefits, right? We all know about the VA and all that good stuff and the benefits, the disability compensation, all that, which is all great. But there's many benefits that can come from the state in which you live. Every state's a little bit different, and it's kind of one of those things where the states, in my opinion, they establish their veteran benefits really as a way to beyond it's the right thing to do, right? So beyond that, as a way to attract veterans to come and be residents of their state, as well as try to keep veterans in their state. And the reason why is we, as a veteran population, bring in most cases, billions of dollars in veteran compensation, disability compensation into these states. That's just the compensation piece. Just some numbers that I kind of know off the top of my head. Florida is about $10 billion per year in VA disability compensation that they receive in, right? So the veterans in Florida who are receiving disability compensation bring in about $10 billion per year. I think it might just be shy of that. California, the same. Texas, about $12 billion per year in veteran disability compensation. Georgia is, I think, just shy of just shy of $7 billion. I recently looked at that one. Sticks off in my mind. I wasn't aware. So there's a lot of money that is coming into these states. So that kind of gives you a kind of a broad stroke there, right? So Florida has about maybe 1.4 million veterans. Georgia has maybe 700,000 veterans. California has about 1.7 million. Texas has about the same, just they're neck and neck with California. So these states are bringing in, and you look at all the states, right? And I did a video on this a while ago. It's a massive amount of money that's coming into the states. And again, that's just VA compensation. Does not include VA pension, does not include military retirement, does not include post 9/11 GI Bill, doesn't include any of that. So these states understand that veterans that are receiving this money are not a drag on the state's ecosystem. They're a positive for the state ecosystem, and therefore they should supply and encourage veterans to, one, apply for VA disability. So that's why they establish state workers and county workers to work with veterans to help them obtain VA benefits to pull in the federal dollars into the state. We as veterans spend it in the state. We buy the new boat, we buy a new truck, we buy, we go out to dinner, we buy things in the local community. So we're working to help create a good ecosystem wherever we are, because we're bringing in this money. So with that, again, every state's different. Some states will offer 100% off of your exemption for your property tax if you're a 100% rated veteran. Some states will offer full military retiree pay, your retirement, fully tax exempt. Then there's some things that are sliding scales. There's all kinds of different things, right? The vehicle registration waived, maybe a free license, right? And then a lot of them have like the free hunting license and those types of things, which that's the smaller stuff. I'm more focused on the big stuff. And I will tell you, just yesterday, I had a meeting with the state representative or, assembly member, depending on what state you're in. They're called different things. So whether it's your state House of Representatives, so not the federal, the state legislature. So I just met with, it could be assembly or what have you. You can even on the Senate side. So it just depends, right? But I spoke with one of my representatives, set up a meeting, and you can do this too. You can email them, you could set up a meeting. It really doesn't matter. You can get the numbers. Hey, this is how much money is being driven into this state, and we need to do more for the veterans of this state to, one, keep those veterans here so they don't go to a state that's better than ours, as far as a veteran-friendly state's concerned. And two, we need to attract other veterans to come here. And I'll tell you that somebody who's retiring from the military is going to Google search what states have military pay fully exempt. And they're going to try to create a short list off of that list. And if your state is not on there because it doesn't have full tax exemption, you're shooting yourself in the foot to save a nickel. You'd much rather have that veteran show up with all their retiree pay, with all their disability compensation, with all the positive attributes that a retiree can bring to a community. Then the same thing with the tax exemption for your home, right? The real estate tax exemption. If your state's not offering that, maybe they should, because veterans, as they're looking to move to different states, are going to look for those things. And again, to save a few $100 in the coffer because you're collecting taxes on that, you're losing out on thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of money being spent driving the communities. So my conversation went well. I just planted the seeds. The 4 prongs that I spoke to were employment opportunities and employment assistance for veterans. So a veteran who gets out and wants to work, how can they get assistance to find employment, gainful employment within the state? 2 is the real estate tax exemption. I'm definitely a fan of the 100%er gets it waived. I would also go as far as to say maybe a sliding scale, right? Maybe an 80 to 100%, or even a 50 to 100. I mean, in a perfect world, right? 50% veteran gets 50% off their taxes. 70% gets 70%. 80 gets 80, 90, 90, 100, 100, right? For the tax exemption. So that was the second prong, was the real estate tax exemption. The third prong that I spoke to was the military retiree pay should not be taxed at all. And the fourth prong was about state veteran homes. So making sure, now I'm pretty sure every state has at least a veteran home. So this is like convalescent homes, long-term type homes, convalescent type of a home with assisted living all the way through to skilled nursing and memory care. And these types of homes, again, you may have one like in Rhode Island, and you may have 9 in Texas. You might have 8 in California, and so forth. So those veteran homes should be in good condition, and there shouldn't be enormous wait list. It shouldn't take you 3 years, 5 years, 7 years to get into one of these homes. It should be within 6 months or so to be able to transition into one of these homes. If it's longer than that, then you might be looking at potentially having to create another state home. The conversation with the state legislators regarding this is, look, the federal government will kick in 66% of the construction costs. Okay, 66% of the construction cost, and the state will get a percentage, kind of like a reimbursement per resident of the home, up to a certain amount. The state's still going to operate in the red, but it's not 100% on the state's shoulders. They will get some reimbursement essentially from the federal government on these homes. But these 4 prongs are really important to keep veterans in the state and attract new veterans. And I think that the states should work diligently to establish really good benefits for all of us. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit of the conversation that I had and kind of my outline that I spoke to with my state representative on the 25th. So what is that, a day or two ago. So thanks so much for watching. Just wanted to share it with you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.